Hello out there, this is Toy Customizer Wake Angel 2001 bringing you a commission for Agent Shadow 96, also known as Supersonic Boom 1996. It is Iron Rotor. Well, technically it's Rotor wearing the Nanite suit that Nicole made for him, but Iron Rotor is a nickname that was given to him by the creators of the comic that I really like. So Iron Rotor would use parts from two figures, the arms and legs of Dr. Eggman, with the torso from Storm the Albatross. Let's see how that works. Alright, due to the corrective posture of the Nanite suit, Rotor's paunch is slightly minimized, but he still has it. So I sort of had to sculpt on a big old belly. I also sculpted on little rockets on the back. And that's pretty much all the modification that the torso needed. Let's move on to the arms, which, take off the stitching from the upper arm, and then I removed Dr. Eggman's fists and sculpted on new hands for Rotor, one open hand and one closed hand, along with those big old lasers that go on his forearms, because giant forearm mounted lasers are awesome. And then give it a nice paint job. It's all yellow with gray and electric blue, which is actually teal. These are the most heavily modified legs I've made since I made regular Rotor before. It's half Dr. Eggman's leg with the thigh from Storm the Albatross. If you're wondering why it's painted beige, that's because it's Bark's leg. I had problems with the legs. They kept falling out. So what I did was I just chopped off the top half of Dr. Eggman's thigh and used it to make Bark's legs. And then took Storm's legs, which would fit back into the torso very easily, and cut them, attach them to the top, toothpick and holes trick. You know how that works. Of course, with this one, I had to sculpt on a bit of a thigh, hopefully integrate the leg so that it would look more like Rotor's thicker legs. It's also significantly shorter than Eggman's leg, although it still looks a little long, but I needed to leave it this long in order to preserve the knee. Had I been willing to sacrifice knee articulation, I could have made them shorter, which would be more accurate, but, both Agent Shadow and I wanted to try and preserve as much articulation as possible, so we left them. Since this is Storm's body and not Eggman's, I didn't have Eggman's round little dome to build around. So after making the muzzle and tusks, I pretty much just put a lump of clay around the neck peg on the Storm figure and kind of cured it into that position. I had to make the head this way so that I would be able to put the details of the eyes in, but then that leaves the question of how I'm going to put the helmet on. Now, it's been a long time since I broke up my Sculpey Bacon Flex clay, since the Super Sculpey that I use now is much stronger and doesn't get sticky when I paint it. But I found it to be pretty useful to make a mock-up of Rotor's head, the same basic size and shape, so I could construct the helmet around it. I was very careful to make sure that I didn't push the clay on too hard, so that way it wouldn't fuse into one piece when I cured the helmet part. And, I was able to extract that orange thing inside, getting a nice clean helmet that I could then paint and stick right over Rotor's head. Seen here on his limbless body. So here is the completed Rotor. The helmet is not removable. It was just made as a separate piece to allow for detail work, not to be a removable accessory. Besides, he doesn't have his cheek tufts, so what will be the point? And I couldn't put a visor on it because making the helmet the right size meant that there wasn't enough clearance, but I still think he looks pretty okay this way. So that is Iron Rotor. I hope you all enjoyed it, and this is Toy Customizer Wake Angel 2001 signing off.